Lone Ranger? Ha! It should be its lone movie. You're despicable.
What up, big kids? It's time for your big review.
What up, big kids? Here's my big review of The Lone Ranger. Oh, man. Now, I didn't have high hopes for this movie, and yeah, I'm glad I didn't because, yeah, this movie, yeah, wow. Now, let me get this straight. This movie isn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's definitely not great. It's not even good. It has some good moments, but besides that, it's way too long. It's way too overstuffed. They could have easily cut out an hour of this movie, or at least a half hour. It was just way too much. Oh my god. So yeah, no spoilers. Let me tell you what I think. So, The Lone Ranger, directed by Gore Verbinski, who has done the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, and of course this is starring Johnny Depp as Tonto and Armie Hammer as the Lone Ranger. Basically, this movie should have been called Tonto and a Guy in a Mask, because that's what it basically was. It was more about Tonto, and that's always a bad thing when the sidekick is more fleshed out in a better character, or even the Lone Ranger's horse, Silver, is a way better character than the Lone Ranger. Now, this movie really just felt like the Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, this movie just really felt like the Pirates of the Caribbean in the Wild Wild West. Seriously, I mean, it really felt like Johnny Depp, who I love Johnny Depp. I even, know he's been playing like a lot of very Captain Jack Sparrow type characters in other movies, but in this one it just made no sense. I mean, even with white face paint, you can't hide that he's definitely, even if Johnny Depp is part Native American, I mean, really, and even if his speech isn't full on Jack Sparrow, he's not asking for rum, like those looks he gives, it feels just like Jack Sparrow. I mean, I didn't feel like Tonto, and yeah, like Johnny Depp, I mean, there's some funny moments. Johnny Depp is always funny whatever movie he is in, and yeah, I mean, like, I love Johnny Depp, but not even he can save this movie. And here's the problem, I mean, one of the many problems. Armie Hammer, I loved him in The Social Network playing the twins, and he is Lone Ranger. I mean, this character has been around for decades, like since the 1930s with the radio show and then the TV show and even the movies. By the way, did anyone know that they made a Lone Ranger TV movie with Chad Michael Murray? I had no idea. So I don't know if he's better than that, because that's pretty bad if you're not better than Chad Michael Murray. Because yeah, like he's kind of a dick in this movie. He does a lot of things that like you can't really root for him, not until the very final battle scene, which is probably the coolest part of the movie. A lot of spectacle, which you came to love from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, but with a train. It's really a spectacle. I mean, so if you like that, you're going to love that final battle. But yeah, Armie Hammer, I don't know if it was his acting or just the way he was written, but yeah, I mean, this is the guy that people thought would be Batman, like after Christian Bale, and yeah, it kind of turned me off from him wanting to be Batman after seeing this. Like, seriously, yeah, it's just like a guy. It's just like, it's hard. He's just bumbling and like, he's not a character like a hero, like our title character, and he's the least interesting character on there. Plus, there's a love story with him and Ruth Wilson's character, Rebecca, who, by the way, says a weird thing that, like, and this is true to the Lone Ranger, like, he's avenging his brother. I mean, you see this in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. And his brother is also played by James Badesdale, who was in Iron Man 3, who I really liked him. You know, he's the one chewing, and he definitely should have been the Lone Ranger. He was a way better. He didn't get enough screen time, but the fact that he has a love interest with his brother's wife who has a kid, and it goes nowhere. I mean, that's a minor spoiler, but that could have been taken out. There's also another thing with, they do a kind of Princess Bride telling a story with older Tonto, so I mean, that goes nowhere too. I don't know why they did that. Like, so many things could have easily been taken out of the movie, and like the origin story of him becoming the Lone Ranger, that could have been so much faster. It took like an hour just to get to that part of him. It's not like Batman Begins did a better job getting Bruce Wayne the Batman than this one does get John Reed to freaking the Lone Ranger. Anyway, the villain played by William Fichtner, he's actually really cool. He really has a lot of fun. He really seems like he's doing his best Jonah Hex. Now, him playing the Shredder, we'll see, but he does a great job in the villain. But yeah, they have Tom Wilkinson, who's kind of wasted in this film. They had Helen Bonham Carter. I was saying, why is she in here? It's like, freaking Tim Burton's not directing this, because you think Tim Burton always has Johnny Depp and Helen Bonham Carter in every movie, but this was Gore Verbinski, so yeah. Anyway, I don't know, just there were some cool action parts, and there were some funny moments. It's like one of those movies, it can be entertaining, but it just like kind of parts, it's like, okay, come on already. It's just like, you're kind of watching, it's just like, get to the point already. It's like so much exposition, and it just really kind of, there's so many parts that take you out of the movie. And like I said, this movie, like, so many things, like these characters should have died so many times, and it just, so many like dark moments that shouldn't be in a family friendly movie. Like even William Fichtner's character like eats people's hearts. He eats, ugh. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, this movie tries its best to be Pirates of the Caribbean in the Wild Wild West, but it's nowhere as fun or entertaining. And what is with like these Gore Verbinski's, having characters with that are like have a love, and then they don't. It's like, yeah, so yeah. With that said, I give The Lone Ranger a bang bang 2 out of 5. I rather saw Despicable Me again. Yep, I would have. But yeah, you guys, if you're gonna see this, maybe see this in matinee only if you're a huge fan of The Lone Ranger and Johnny Depp and Gore Verbinski and Armie Hammer. If you're not a huge fan of all of those things, yeah, it's not worth it. Just wait till Netflix streaming or whatever. I'm not even gonna buy this on Blu-ray or anything. So yeah, but yeah, you guys, check out Ripped Apparel for all these awesome T-shirts like this. Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Walking Dead shirts, and also check out bkbn.net for all your geek news, reviews, podcasts, and more. I'm Sean Long. Remember, celebrate your gnome in a big way.
Go to bkbn.net. Go to bkbn.net. Go to bkbn.net. I tell you to go down.
By the way, the only good part about the Lone Ranger is when they play the classic music. When there's no music like that, it's not worth seeing. So yeah, just pass.